Hey, what's up guys, the Mets guy, welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 redub. Uh, Today we're gonna fight the boss of this area, so kill the crossbow man, just try and kind of sneak around big boy, but if you hear him coming, let the elevator down, he'll fall again. This time obviously he probably won't die because he just landed on the elevator as it was going down, but now we have him in a more controlled situation where we can deal with him as we see fit. Now this time we got lucky, he stayed down there. Sometimes he can dry it up. The reason I say we got lucky is because we now have the opening to get a drop attack off if he's in the right spot. So it's not completely lucky, but if he's in a good spot for it, we can get the drop attack and stun him to death with 2 more shots of R1. Now we'll kill these 4 again since we can. This time I did it right. Take no damage off of that if you do it right. We'll come out here, kill the crossbow guy, and then we'll kill the other guy. And I guess I was checking my embers because I thought I wasn't embered because it's just low health. I'm not used to low health. I'm used to in-game stuff. So whenever you pick up arrows, unequip them if you're not going to use a bow or a crossbow or anything like that. And then ember up here, because you do need to be embered to summon this guy in. This is a nice little NPC helper that's going to be helping us out. It takes a little bit. You don't have to be online to do this, by the way. I usually play in offline mode. So you don't have to be online to summon these extra NPC helpers. And they can be summoned anytime that they're available. Such as this time. And then we're just going to be super aggressive and deal with all these knights out here. Now here's an example of what you do against these kinds of knights. If you run out of black fire bombs, as you saw, just real aggressive. If he doesn't attack, you just go in there, get your R1s off, and get the kill. Now up here is a guy, he buff his weapon, he's really strong, really difficult to fight. And the reason I did that is because you can't sneak up on him. Lion Knight Albert's going to get in your way and make it difficult to deal with him. So we'll let him deal with this guy a little bit, kind of let him take the lead on this fight. Try and keep our distance and just let him deal with it. That was a really lucky version of the fight. That was a really good version of the fight. Can be worse. So you hope you don't get the worst. Now, if you don't feel like fighting these guys, you don't have to. You just run into this church right here, run past everything, and let Lion Knight Albert kind of deal with them from the side. And just talk to her until you get both of the items that she gives you, and then leave. The reason he can't come in here is because this is a boss room. But that's more end-game stuff, so we'll see that later. Don't kill that old lady. That's all I can tell you. And then once again, just be super aggressive with this guy. Lion Knight Albert will do a lot of the damage for you. And he'll heal himself. It's just kind of, you need to give him a good spot. If you've noticed, I've been getting healing items back myself. And the reason for that is that when you kill a certain amount of enemies, especially strong enemies, over here to the right is a crossbow guy, 2 hits. But especially strong enemies, they have a potential to drop an Estus Flask for you. I don't know if it's a number of enemy based or if it's based on like a point system or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how it works as to getting items. So this is the Swordmaster. His summon sign will only appear there if you kill him at the Firelink Shrine, which is why I suggest you do it outside of the souls he drops. Now here at the top of the steps, they can't come in because this is a boss room. At the top of the steps, we're going to equip the gold pine resin. Or, you know, as we get closer to the door, we'll equip it right next to the door here, and then we'll activate the cutscene. You can watch it if you wish. And then with this boss fight, your phantoms will be coming in. You just need to avoid damage in the meantime. And we do a lot of R1s. You just need to get around to his booty and just R1s to the booty. There are occasions where you can do fully charged R2s, like right now would be a good time. I didn't in this case, but that would be a good time for it. This would have been another good time for it. There's a few good spots for them, but it's kind of dangerous, especially in phase 2 here. When he does that scream, this scream right here, as a matter of fact, he'll do these little charge moves. This little charge, if he does all three, is really lucky, because he starts into this kind of breath attack that inflicts frostbite. And while he's doing that, he leaves himself open to damage, and you can just kill him if you get lucky like this. So that was one of my best fights with him. Very lucky fight. By the way, if you have difficulty doing it with the NPCs, which in this playthrough, the NPCs did a lot of hard work to get enemy aggro. But it's kind of random. That's how good that'll be. Once you rest at the bonfire, the door back there will open really fast. Then you just sprint down here and spam X. To activate this cutscene. And then we can light this bonfire and rest at it as well. So we rested the first one to open those doors faster. And then we rested this one because this is where we want to respawn if we die for some reason. But as I said, with the boss, he can be really difficult. If you're finding it hard to do it with summons, it actually is easier to do it without summons if they're not giving you that aggro buildup. If they're not taking the aggro, you can actually use no summons, and it's actually easier because you'll do more damage that way, because there's a little bit of extra damage to be had built up. Now with this, you want to get as many dogs down here as you can. Usually it's only 2. You won't ever get all 3 at once, but drop attack 2 of them and then kill the 3rd. That was a really lucky run because there was still some enemies left. And then we can go ahead and open this gate. We're not going to go that way quite yet, but might as well have the gate open. And then I suck, so I missed that guy, but you can kill that guy as well. And then run around this corner and sprint attack these 2 dogs. That'll kill them. You can get the alluring skulls, which are pretty useful in like 1 or 2 boss fights. I don't personally use them, but I could see them being really useful against most boss fights if they work in most boss fights. So it might be worth it to keep them. Basically what they do is if you throw it, it'll attract enemies to the spot where you threw it instead of you, so you can then attack them. And there's a few boss fights where using them, such as the Curse Rod at Greatwood and the Deacons of the Deep, where they're real useful, but we don't use them in this run just because I don't have them when it's time for those fights. I usually sell them, so I usually don't have them when it's time for those fights. If you got enough power, you don't really need it, even if you're using summons. So refine anything that has gem behind it. I usually sell because they're like upgrade. The infusions, they add like permanent fire damage or permanent dark damage and stuff like that. These guys are weak enough to be rolled into, by the way. You can stun them with a roll. They won't take damage, but you can kind of save yourself some trouble by rolling into them. We're not quite strong enough here, but we will be. Now we run around here. We need to get this guy down here, so we let him do his little drop. And then we're going to knock this down to the level below. Now, this guy is annoying, and the sprint attack may not work as well as we'd like. But we can grab those repair powders to sell. You don't really need them in this game, so it's kind of a useless mechanic. And then we get Charcoal Pine Bundle. We got to drop attack this guy. The angle can be kind of weird, but just, you know, do what you need to. And then every enemy here is going to be about 2-shot. For the most part, so you just want to be careful of that. That guy drops from the ceiling when you get around those charcoal pine bundles. But we're going to come around here, grab that item that we knocked down, and then we're going to throw some fire bombs. You can kind of use my screen to get a good angle, figure out how the aiming works. But we're going to throw some fire bombs and hit these exploding barrels. You can get pretty close to these guys without them noticing, but doing that, of course, kills all those enemies at once, so you don't have to deal with them. And then we can come over here, and I didn't get the double hit, so I didn't get the double kill that I really wanted. But, oh, he's being aggressive, or she's being aggressive. I forget, sometimes they can be aggressive, but in this case, they did the fire grab, which is a great move. When they do that fire grab, you can get yourself a backstab. and then move on with your life. You don't want to get hit by that too much. It can build up bleed. She could basically one-shot you if she hits you 2 or 3 times with that big mace. So you do want to keep out of the way. Try to avoid getting hit. That little blood spell she does builds up a lot of bleed as well. At this point, she can basically one-shot you, as I said, with any of... If she hits you with that mace a couple of times, you're dead. And if she hits you with that spell, like, twice, you're probably dead. But we want to deal with these side guys because they can get in the way of the main danger here. And from here, it's just a matter of trying to bait that move out and get the backstab. And then a fully charged R2. Now, this one's going to take, I think, more than a backstab and a fully charged R2 to kill. But it is worth killing, just for the souls, if anything. You don't have to, though. You can just grab the item that she guards in this Ember here. And once you grab the knocked down item and the homeward bone and all that, you can go to the bonfire last rested at. And then you want to go to the tower on the wall, and in that room with the exploding barrels that you gotta run past to kill the enemy before he explodes the barrels, and the backstab guy to the right behind where the backstab guy is, which I think, yeah, I'm doing it now, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell this forward so that you guys already know. So, to the right of where the backstab guy is at, you just keep going straight down some stairs, and you'll run into the cell, and you can use the key you got earlier to unlock it, to chat with Grey Rat, get a ring from him, and send him back to the Firelink Shrine. I like to do the pathing in this way because it just makes sense to go ahead and get the 2 guys you need right away, and then go grab Grey Rat afterwards. So I did manage to fail the jump attack because I forgot how it works for some reason, but I still managed to save it by getting a good drop attack. That's why this Claymore is so great. It wouldn't have happened with the axe, but it happened with the Claymore because it's got that reach on it. So now we'll run past this guy, and or not run past this guy, but we'll run up to this guy and get him dead. Backstab this guy again. Oh, I missed the backstab. That's alright. Typically, I try to get the backstab on that guy just because his type of enemy type is annoying. So after that, we talk to Grey Rat here. Grant request. So basically, just spam X until he disappears, and he gives you a nice ring. And that ring actually, it increases your defense the more damage you take. So when you get to low health, you can just take a few extra hits before you die. It's not really worth it, because when I say a few extra hits, it really is based on the enemy. Like these basic tier enemies that don't do half your health with one combo, they'll be good for it, but pretty much any other enemy is going to do too much damage for that to matter anyways. Although I do think that speedrunners use it, so I could be wrong. Anyhow, after that, we're going to head to the Firelink Shrine. Excuse me. I want to head down to the Firelink Shrine and get started on these side quests. That way we can get everybody set up. But first we'll sell some stuff. So once again, I'm just selling everything that I don't have equipped. The only exception is boss souls. I didn't keep any boss weapons this run, but I can tell you what they are so that you can try them out if you want to. With VORDT here, the first boss that we fought, if you want to keep his soul, he has a hammer. The hammer he was wielding during the fight, though I don't think it's all that great. But you can try it out, certainly. You can get it and try it out. Or he can give you a ring. You can only get one or the other, and the ring, I believe, increases damage with combos. So the more combos you do, the more damage you do. I believe is what the ring does. And then I'll sell all the weapons that I don't want, because this Claymore is basically the weapon for the run for like a really long time. As a matter of fact, in all 40 episodes I've done, the Claymore is still the weapon for the run. In 40 episodes. And each of them are at least this long, if not maybe whatever the first episode was long. So I can assure you, the Claymore is all you really need. Unless you just want to try other weapons out. But now we can reinforce once, and then we had, I believe, 2 Estus Flask shards, so you can level up your Estus by hitting Reinforce Estus Flask. And once you've given him Loretta's Bone, you can sell his ring back to him, because we don't need it, and he won't care after you give him Loretta's Bone. Now we'll talk to this guy, Yoel, and we'll draw out your strength. And he gives us 5 free levels, including this first one here. So we're going to put it all into health. That's just going to give us some extra health as we go along. Now at this point you want to get naked. You want to remove everything that you can. I did go ahead and level up right here, though it's just because it's safer, because you have less souls at the end of it, so you don't have to worry about losing out on a bunch of souls if you forget to grab them one time. But you could choose to just die the 10 times you need to die, or really I guess 8 times, since you don't really have to die to get the first level. You just have to die 10 more or 8 more times after. So now we're going to go to the very top of this area and drop down, and then jump off this top step here. And the first time it's going to take you 3 jumps to do it. And you want to die, as I said, you want to die 2 times and then go talk to him, 2 times and then go talk to him, 2 times and then go talk to him, until he hits you with the dialogue. You have ample strength. Once he hits you with that, he won't give you any more levels. And then you can save and quit to kind of push both of them to their next point of their quest lines. And then you can save and quit again to get Grey Rat to his next point in his quest line. Anyways, as I said, we're going to jump from the very top and then jump off that top step. The reason I choose to do it this way instead of running outside and jumping off an edge and just dying to an edge is because there isn't a faster way to do that. Like, you could choose to spawn at Champion, or you could choose to spawn at Gundir's, the boss of this area. The first boss is Bonfire. You could choose to spawn at his Bonfire and then jump off the edge of his boss arena twice. You can also talk to him to get him to his next quest line now, as a matter of fact, and get the curl up pose. But you could do that twice and then teleport back here, but that would take longer than doing this. You could jump off of the go out of one of these doors here and just jump off a ledge, but the closest door you're going to reach is at the top of the stairs there, and it has a fog wall up that takes a while to go down. So it's just faster to jump off the stairs and then jump off the big step there. I've just found that that's the fastest way to go about it. So I believe I died twice there. I think I'm just grabbing my souls real quick. No, I guess I'm going to go ahead and die another time. I'm not too sure. You can die more than twice. You just want to do this right now, because if you don't, you could risk missing out on the 5 levels and the continuation with another NPC later. So it's better to just do this now. Get your 5 levels and get on with this before continuing onwards. Because if you don't, this guy will die of old age before you get all 5 levels, and that is a shame. So now Grey Rat's standing back up, and you can send him to pillage, and the next time you reload the area, he will go off to pillage. And he won't be here for a little bit, and then he'll come back, and you'll have new items to buy. And then never send him to pillage again if you want to make use of those items. Because, I mean, you can look it up yourselves. I don't remember why, but he died when I sent him to pillage a second time. Though I remember in the past I was able to send him to pillage a second time and it was fine. So I'm assuming that you have to clear a certain area before you can send him to pillage the second time. And as I said, if you don't, he dies. So it's better to not let him die. So just send him to pillage once, and then maybe towards like the end of the game, send him to pillage a second time. And typically fall damage is based on like hang time. So even if you were to land on one of those statues, as long as you slide off like I did and hit the ground, you'll still take the fall damage for it. In theory, you may even be able to in theory, you may be able to what is it? What am I trying to say, lads and lassies? You could, if you were to land on the thing right, maybe get glitched onto it and be stuck there for a while and then hit the ground, you could probably die from that drop, but it might take longer to do that than to just take the 2 jumps. Now, I didn't spam O at the end of that jump, so I had to wait for the falling animation. So, as I said, it's important. This is basically the rest of the episode. It's just keep jumping till you die enough times to get him to say his final line and get Grey Rat sent off. And that basically deals with your issues. Now you notice that you're turning into a raisin more and more every time you do this. Don't be worried if you made a nice fancy character. There's a way to fix it later on. So just go ahead and do this, be a raisin for a little while, and you can fix it actually pretty soon. I think, as a matter of fact, if not the next episode, then the episode after that, we unlock the ability to fix it for like 3,000 souls. Now, as I said, once you've dropped enough times, you can re-put everything on your bar. So I just run through. I'm going to sell those lightning resins because we don't need them anymore. What we used on VORDT, if you still have one, you can sell it. You don't really need it. So at this point, you get 19, and then you have ample strength. So once you get to 19, you can do that, and then save and quit out. I think I saved and quit out here to see if Grey Rat would come back. I don't remember if he does or not, but it's better to just save and quit out at the old man and just check after that. Because if he doesn't show up, then you have to run back in there for the old man. And it's just kind of a bigger waste of time because he doesn't come back. I think it comes back based on like area progression. So he dies of old age and she shows up. If he dies of old age, and you didn't get all 5 levels, then she won't show up and you can't get a really nice weapon later. So it is, of course, suggested that you do this now, as to avoid not getting a really nice weapon later. And then up here, yeah, this guy is here now at this point, so we can crack Red Eye Orbs 5 from him and sell those off. So I'm just gonna, the rest of this episode is just me kind of messing around and getting ready. Probably go off and sell some things, whether it be at the end of this episode or start of the next episode. Just the lightning resins and the cracked Red Eye Orbs. Now here I am gonna, I don't know, man. I just run around and rant at the end of these things, so I don't even know what I'm supposed to be saying here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and favorite more and subscribe for your own reasons. I'll see you in the next one.